Welcome to Snipe Life, and today we're going through The Chosen Season 2, Episode 6. This is a really amazing episode. I know you guys love this one. These episodes, by the way, just take a lot of energy. They take a lot of time to film, to edit, and to get to you guys. We love doing them, and I love seeing their reactions as much as you guys do. So if you want to support us to do more episodes like this, a great way to do that is through our Patreon link in the description below. Also, we have a new feature that YouTube has just given us, the thanks button beneath this video right now and beneath every other video that we have. So this gives you the option to donate just $2. Maybe you want to think of it as buying us a cup of coffee, or as much as $50 if you really want to help us out. But no expectation, it's just there in case you want to use it. All right, but without further ado, let's get into The Chosen Season 2, Episode 6. Here we go.
Yeah. Ow! The fever hasn't broken yet. It's 5 days.
You always thinking in catastrophes.
And you, always thinking it's another sunny day.
Send for the boy. 12 cakes. One for each of the tribes of Israel.
Himalek.
Abiathar, go home. Tell your mother I sent you and that everything's going to be fine.
Listen.
Why are you alone? Where's your protection?
The king has sent me on a mission and said that no one is to know anything about it. I've arranged to meet my men at a certain place.
David, my understanding, you and the king are not on friendly terms.
I've been sent on a mission from the king.
What I'm about to give you is sacred.
Life is more sacred than bread.
If Zol finds out I helped you, we won't get to keep mine.
I know.
And I'm not sorry. Something is going to come through you. I can feel it. Something bigger, more exciting. I don't know what.
There was nothing bigger or more exciting than that giant.
We'll see.
So we went back in time again. So that's David, King David eventually. This is before he becomes king. Saul is trying to kill him, right? So he's on the run with his mighty men and some of the people that are with him. And he's talking about the Pikuach Nefesh, which is a Jewish law that allows for the breaking of the law in order to save a life, right? So the priest isn't allowed to share that bread with anybody, but David saying, well, the Pikuach Nefesh would say, you know, they would allow you to share the bread in order to save our lives, right? Yeah. So he gave him the bread and shared it with him. So keep that in mind. It's just about breaking the law for the reason of saving a life, basically.
Oh, that's disturbing.
Sleeping good, boy.
I forgot that he was so cute.
Right? No, seriously.
We haven't seen a lot of him the past 2 episodes.
It's true.
I don't think black. I think his hair is naturally brown. That color. I think he colored his hair.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just because it's like dark.
Are you hungry?
Can you believe that was like a nice bed?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know.
What did you do to yourself? Oh. Oh. It's disgusting. Did you not put down no hay before lying down?
No, did you?
Of course I did.
While you make eggs however you like them, you can also devise our plan for the day. With me.
Fine.
Aw, look at him. Olive branch, here you go.
You know, we may have to consider the possibility that she went somewhere other than Jericho. She's got black hair.
Long black hair.
Oh, well, all our women have long.
Sometimes she can't even cover it all.
It's just
Might be uncontrollable. Or distressed.
Anything
How
else?
old are they? Like in the Bible?
Unusually pleasant to look
Probably
at.
teenagers.
Yeah, they were in their teenage years.
You alright?
Just another night of the Nomad.
The Nomad?
I can't believe I made it up the stairs. Dionysus carried me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Right. Paws off, rat.
know.
Dionysus is the Greek god of
Anyway,
wine and partying.
where were we? Oh yeah, you gave a description of Mary to the official.
What did he say about the stairs?
What flowers can you eat?
Rose, borage, dandelion.
You can eat
A bit tiny,
dandelion?
but who's going to complain?
I guess you could technically eat.
How do you know so much about edible
Well,
flowers?
some of them are poisonous.
My family has been poor my whole life. Sometimes he is as much a mystery to me as he is to you.
Right.
Oh, berries. Some trust in chariots and some in horses. But
Right.
we trust in the name Adonai, our God.
Yeah, Rima.
I want to be a teacher like Natty someday.
Are we going to play or what?
Get on with it.
Watch and learn, boys. Watch and learn. Hey! Mother of a dog!
Mother of
First
a
time hold. Yeah? Hey, another. You want to
Isn't that
win your
his
money
friend?
back?
Seriously?
It'll be behind the bar.
Another.
Girl, get up out there. Just get up out of there. And left the money.
16. 17. 18.
The cup.
19. 19 servings. And there's 15 of us?
14. If Philip doesn't make it back to
That's true. Why can't they make food appear out of thin air?
Okay. Magician.
When I was with John, sometimes we would go for days without food. Other times, the person he baptized would give us money. We would eat like kings for the day.
I once thought about joining the Zealots.
What? You never told me that.
You never asked.
So? Why didn't you?
This very thing. We have enough rules from Torah to follow as it is.
613.
613. All these prayers we have to recite, all these things we can and cannot do, add a bunch of body exercises to that each morning.
They have to be in prime shape, you know?
To kill people.
Yes.
I just don't understand why Jesus would pair up Simon and Matthew to go and find her. Matthew. It's like asking a fox and a fish to go and team up and do something productive.
What?
Because they could never work together. It's a saying.
Nobody says that. Anyway. I actually don't understand most of this. Just pieces here and there when good things happen, but the rest, I'm just following.
I have a sinking feeling it's going to take a long time to understand.
For us?
For everyone.
His looks. I can't.
I know places like this.
I make my bed, take no taps. You are here.
Stay behind me.
He has nice calves.
Excuse me.
Oh God! Look at his face. His face. He's like,
Have you seen a woman with long, dark hair? She may be distraught.
Are you friends of Lilith?
What if you were cut off from Jesus by something in your past? Wouldn't you want help getting back to him as soon as possible?
right. Good point.
Okay. We split up. North,
We split
East,
up. Didn't he
South.
just say?
west. Huh? I go north.
Boys?
Mary.
I can't face him.
God, God, so relatable.
I know. We just all like that.
What's he gonna say?
I can't go to church. It'll burn down. Like, that's what he was saying.
I'm a bad person, Mary.
Matthew.
No. My whole life. All for me. No faith.
I do have faith in him. Just not in me.
Ooh, tweet.
I'm learning more about Torah and God because of you.
Oh, wow.
I'm studying harder because you are such a great student. He saved you to do all these things.
What you about to throw up? Oh, Lord.
It's all right. It's all right.
Oh, damn.
President Shimon does not preoccupy himself with minutia.
Minutia?
Minutia?
I may be so bold. Violations of God's immutable law does President Shimon deem worthy of his attention. That is why you still hold a low station.
Oh.
These are the laws that Shimon, like his father Hillel, is seeking to reform. His care is for women, for widows, for the undervalued, for the vulnerable. Yours seems to be about people carrying mats on Shabbat. Blasphemy is not harmless. He will not expend energy on this case. Shalom.
Ooh, dismiss.
No. It's just getting started.
Oh.
Now we go to the other side, the rigid one.
Shammai?
I was hoping to create more chaos by working through Shimon, but perhaps Shammai will respond to our stories with such fury. This will work
They
better
have
anyway.
personal agendas, clearly.
Once.
Yeah.
Shimon will have no explanation as to why he didn't take this seriously.
Why does it take all this?
You can kind of see like Shmuel's.
Yeah.
He's not as into it as Yanni is.
Yeah.
Philip returned with news. John the Baptizer was taken into custody.
In Herod's most heavily blockaded prison.
Where is he? In his tent. Should I wait?
No. I will take it to him.
I'm so ready for this conversation. I am so ready.
I don't know what to say.
I don't require much.
Aww.
I'm so ashamed. You redeemed me and I just threw it all away.
Well, that's not much of a redemption if it can be lost in a day, is it?
Mm. God, this is so
I just can't
relatable.
live up to it.
Well, that's true. But you don't have to. I just want your heart. Did you really think that you'd never struggle or sin again? I know how painful that moment was for you.
I shouldn't.
Someday. But not here. Look at me.
Oh, God.
Aww. I just felt that. Like chills just a bit.
He's so comforting with his touch.
Why this synagogue, Rabbi? It's not on any of our maps.
That's a good question. Have you noticed that no matter where we go recently, we are more and more misunderstood?
Definitely.
Tell them.
Even to the 10th generation. None of them may enter the assembly of the Lord forever.
May I see?
Because they did not meet you with bread and with what? Excuse me, what are you doing?
What is your name?
Elam.
Your friend Elam has a withered hand.
Are you a healer?
It is not lawful to heal on Sabbath.
Which one of you who has a sheep and it falls into a pit on the Sabbath will not take hold of it and lift it out?
Who are you to speak to our congregation in such a
Of
way?
how much more value is this man than a sheep?
Stop this at once.
Wow.
Here's good, huh?
Yeah, I bet that hurt.
Gladly.
Well, he did.
Come back!
Yeah, so like.
How dare you!
Are they going to send the town guards after us?
You may.
They all literally stopped and
Virtue, and now your disciples are doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath.
Have you not read what David did when he was in need and was hungry? He entered the house of God in a time of Ahimelech, the priest, and ate the bread of the presence, which was not lawful for him to eat, but only for the priests.
You would compare yourself
that's
to David.
It was an emergency.
Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath.
oh, tweet.
So, the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath.
The Son of Man.
Let's go.
Every time when they walk away, like have a moment, Simon's always like, yeah.
Title, Son of Man, seemed to upset a lot of people.
He even had women following him. 3.
Be sure to add that.
If that doesn't catch their
But the
attention.
Sanhedrin is distracted between Rome and the fractions and the zealots and the protest and Herod and Caesar. Their attention is diluted. We could go to the Tabata. There will be people of importance on the protest. We could tell them as well.
Yes. We will do both. Who knows? All we can do is fulfill our duty to report the facts. And pray.
For what?
Justice.
Wait, that was it?
Much for watching. You know, I'm standing on the set.
That was a weird cutoff.
That was
I know, I was
weird
like-
cutoff.
That's it.
Okay,
That
that
was
just
the-
went down a point because what?
So, Chosen season 2, episode 6.
Just pop.
Really good episode.
It was.
This is a lot of kind of comfort after an episode of kind of setting up some hardship.
Mhm.
So, what do you guys think?
A lot to digest, I guess. It was good because I really wanted to see how Mary, like how Jesus was gonna react with Mary. Obviously, super relatable too. I'm sorry, I'm still just like shocked at the ending. It just for justice.
Yep.
Hi, this don't. What the? What?
Yeah.
Didn't even like.
Well, they're separate from everybody else, right? But they've seen the same thing that Shmuel has seen, which is like this blasphemy, right? And so Jesus again is saying that he's the Son of Man, which is a allusion to him being the Messiah,
Yeah.
right? And then on top of that, he's saying that he's Lord of the Sabbath. So even more so, he's kind of equating himself with God, right?
Mhm.
And so they're freaked out by that. But they're kind of using it as a political thing too, because they're kind of saying like, oh, we have this little tiny town. Maybe if we can, make some waves, someone will recognize us, right, for who we are. So they're trying to make some political waves as well. But yeah, so let's focus on the Mary storyline first.
My favorite was Just like how she was like scared to just go back to God, and he's just like, I forgive you. You know, because it's like some people we're just like, I did all this and I feel bad and I stepped away from him, and he's just like, you're sinners, but you know, I love you and I forgive you. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, the infinite grace of God is something that is really hard for us to grasp, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we have to understand that there are consequences for our sin,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
in our lives. Like when we sin, like we ruin God's plan for us. You know, we walk away from what he wants for us, and he can still make it good, right? He can still make it beautiful. But we mess up a lot of what he wants us to have because we do what we want, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think about the conviction we feel like when we sin, and I can't imagine like physically going back to Jesus and having to like
look at me.
Yeah, look at me. Yeah, and like I don't know. I think that just makes it like 10 times better that he. I don't know. He's just so comforting. They did really good at casting.
Yeah.
That man's eyes are so nice. They're so like so big and brown. And I feel to cry every time I see them.
I like how he also keeps like at the second line he always tells them as he's healing. He's like, I know.
Yeah.
I know you've been through this for a long time. Like
Yeah.
I know it hurts. Like it's that dad. Like I know. You know what I'm saying. So it's just like I think that's also what makes him comforting too. It's just like. I know. I've seen this. I know you're. Say less.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like then again, I keep going back to like. He feels that way for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all have access to this intimate relationship with God, and I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, he was really close to this person. Oh, he's really close to this person. But I'm like, I literally have that with him. You know, like, and I think that's something we just don't think about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because we take it for granted, and like you said, like we have access to the Holy Spirit now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just couldn't imagine physically being around Jesus. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I can't imagine hearing that. Like I'm forgiven. Like Jesus is speaking that to me, but he is. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
It's definitely interesting the relationship that we can have with Jesus, right? Yeah. Like how we can walk through life, and we're broken and like we struggle through stuff, but he still forgives us, and trying to understand that. But I think that one thing that I resonate with the most from Mary is like not trusting yourself, right?
Yes.
Like you know that God's gonna forgive you,
I have
but
faith
like,
in him.
but you kind of lose trust in yourself, and you lose faith in yourself that you can do the right thing.
Absolutely.
You know?
And I like that he brought up like the whole like redemption thing. She's like, "You redeemed me, and I threw it all in one day." And he was like, "Well, that wasn't much of redemption, then." Like, I don't know. I think as humans, like, we have these relationships with each other where we have the power to not forgive each other and, like, stuff like that. And I think we kind of take our humanness and apply it to our relationship with God.
Yeah.
And we think that, oh, like, he's going to punish me for this. He's going to da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But it's God, you know? Like, I don't even know how to... There's been so many times where I've sabotaged my relationship with God because I've compared it to relationships that I have here on earth, which are so crazy because it's not even fathomable. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And I think going back to what Jasmine said, like, I love her line when she's talking to Matthew and she's like, he fixed me once and I broke again.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, that to me it's one of my biggest struggles in my faith walk, because for me, fear has controlled a lot of who I am as a person. So when I mess up, then I'm afraid of going back to God, right? Because I deem myself as not worthy, right? Yeah. So then I just kind of sit in my pity, right? And I'm like, I don't deserve to go back to you. I don't deserve forgiveness. I don't deserve to have what you want for me to have, you know?
Isn't it crazy that we feel that way? And there's like there's nothing in scripture to ever make us feel that way, but it's like such a commonality between like Christians where we feel this shame or this guilt or that like for me, like when I feel heavy with sin, I feel like I can't go to church. Like I feel like I can't read the Bible. Like I feel like it's just so contradictory to what I'm trying to believe, you know? So but it's like, what makes us think that? Like, I don't know. We're told everything but that.
Yeah, it's our flesh. I mean, our flesh is geared toward sin. It's geared toward running away from God, you know? Yeah. And so when we're in that sin nature, when we're walking in that sin nature, like that's our natural like tendency, right? Yeah. Is to run away from God, is to distance ourselves from God, right? And so we kind of walk in that when we're in that way. But
yeah. And I think that happens with a lot of people as far as like, you could be walking with God and have like this, and then one little thing like with Mary or just, and then something else, and you just kind of veering away. And it's like, now I'm like, how do I go back? Can I go back? You know.
And I also think, like, sorry, I just have a lot of thoughts
you're
about
good.
this episode. But, like, I feel like we kind of have this idea of love where it's, like, conditional. So the idea of an unconditional love is almost like you can't even wrap your mind around it because there's nothing here on earth that will come close to that.
Right.
You know? So, like, I even feel now, like, I truly don't grasp the idea of, like, forgiveness over and over and over again, right? Because if, like, in my head, I'm like, okay, if I'm repenting, and repenting means to not return to, why would God forgive me again for repenting over and over and over? And I'm like, is it repentance? Like, how can you forgive something that isn't, like, genuine? So, I don't know.
Is it like, do you ever feel like you're taking advantage of God's grace if you quickly, like, get over your...
Yeah.
That's how I feel sometimes. Sometimes I just, like, I dwell in it because I feel like if I go right back to, like, can I get forgiveness? It's like I didn't punish myself enough before coming to him to, like I need to get a punishment. Like, I need to be punished.
Yeah, Paul says something about this in his writings, and he says, so what then? Should I sin all the more so that grace abounds? Right?
Ooh.
And it's like, no. Like, the idea is not that we live in life so that we can just sin all the time and then know that grace is going to come fix us, right? It will. But God also knows the posture of your heart, right? So, like, he knows where you're at. Like, Mary, like, she obviously is going through something traumatic. It's not something that she was just like, oh,
I'm going to do it because he'll forgive me.
Yeah.
Selfish,
whatever.
Selfish motives.
Like, forget these guys. Let me go do what I'm going to do.
I'm going to go play
Right?
knucklebones.
Right. But she obviously is going through something traumatic, and so he understood that, right? Even in the midst of all these other things that were happening with John the Baptist and the food being low and everything else, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously dealing with a lot, right? But he still has time for her and makes time for her in that. So
I mean, he said it. He's like, it's not you. It's just a lot going on, but he still made time for her.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
It was something, okay, so I still don't really understand because I didn't understand when I was younger, but you know, like on communion, and you had the bread.
Yep.
And so when the guy was making the bread, and he was like, this is, what's the word he said?
The bread of the presence.
Yeah, and this is like sacred and all this. I remember like a friend in church, she used to always say like, you know, or people would say, don't take this unless, if you're not, you know.
It's a warning in the scriptures,
So that's what he was kind of like. Cause I really never, I mean, I was just like,
I don't think
I
it has
was
to do with
scared to eat it because
communion.
I'm like,
I don't think it has to do with communion.
That was more Old Testament, like what the traditions.
Yeah, the priests were the only ones that could eat that bread back in the day. So, like, that bread specifically was meant for the priests only, and anybody else that ate it was sinning, basically. But David was able to take the bread and still glorify God because of the Piquach Nefesh, which allowed them to break the law when a life is in danger, right? So yeah, we're not really seeing symbolism of communion quite yet. The closest thing that we've seen is probably season 1, episode 5, which I think is the wedding.
The wedding.
And so that episode in particular is like the closest thing that we've really seen to like a communion representation. I think, but we'll see more, I'm sure. So I'm really actually excited because like in this episode we get a glimpse at like how Jesus feels about his family and his friends, like him really feeling that sorrow for John, right?
Yes. Yes.
And next season we're actually going to see Lazarus, which is going to be really interesting because we know from the scriptures that Lazarus is actually really close friends with Jesus and walks with him. Well, not walks with him, but has spent a lot of time with him in a town called Bethany.
Right.
And so Jesus has spent a lot of time there with not just Lazarus, but actually his sisters as well, Mary and Martha.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to be able to see, hopefully all three of them, but at least Lazarus next season and kind of see a little bit of the relationship, I think. So
awesome.
It'll be cool to kind of see some of that. But
I love the Mary and Martha.
Yeah.
That I'm excited to see how they portray them.
Yeah, me too. And also, what did you guys think about the whole Matthew and Simon kind of teaming up to go find Mary, like that kind of relationship?
definitely. I thought Mary, like Jesus' mom, was alluding to that, and when she was walking with Rhema, basically saying that like sometimes, like even though it's a bad situation, good's always gonna come from it. God is always gonna use good or to figure something out, fix those missing things. And I feel like that's for me, it's people that annoy me, but I know that we're here for a purpose. So try to put your ego aside and stuff aside. So that was just a reminder to me. It's like, you know what, you're with this person for a reason, or like you're dealing with them. So just like extend grace. And then you can tell what their relationship is growing, because now Matthew is seeing a caring part Simon is seeing a caring part of Matthew. So that's what's softening Simon's heart for Matthew, because it's like, oh, he does have feelings.
Yeah, he's not just this mean tax collector.
Right. And he was he was humble when he went to Mary and was like saying, you know, all this, like how he felt. And, you know, then he was like, okay, this guy is pretty, you know, he's dope. So.
Yeah, Matthew going to the point of saying, like you're saying, that I'm a bad person and my whole life was about me. Like, that's a huge step for him.
Right. Yeah.
Remember in the last episode, even Thomas calls him out and he's like, you're arrogant.
Right.
You know, I think you're arrogant.
And he said,
right.
I'm pretty humble.
Right. But now he's beginning to see some of the errors in his ways. And in season 3, we're going to see even more of that. I think even they've said in the first episode, we're going to see some of Matthew's past, but I think some of this as well. So it'll be interesting to see. What do you rate it?
I say 8.
Okay.
It ended in a doo-doo way, but
it was. I'm gonna say 5.
Really?
That's so low.
Just because of the ending?
Yeah.
She said, "I'm extending grace, but not today."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like if the ending was more of a like
conclusion,
like a shallow end, or like in a transition.
Yeah.
I would say it was about like a 6, 7.
Yeah.
7.
Okay.
Because Mary's part really stuck with me, but besides that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We find out bad news on that, so now it's just like, okay, what's the next one? Because I want to see. Because now the fish story is gonna happen, right? No.
No, not this season.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
That's gonna happen in season 3.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Still a 6.
Okay, 6.
I had my 9.
I think this one's definitely an 8 or a 9 for me. I think the way that they put together the stories from the scriptural aspects of it are really, really cool. But then seeing Mary's kind of redemption, I think, is important for a lot of people. Yeah. It's really healing, like, to see that and know that, like, okay, I don't have to hide who I am. I don't have to keep on running away, you know. Yeah. So.
I mean, the whole Mary storyline has been a 10 for me.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
That.
But the whole, as a whole, I think 7. Because there was just a few slow time, like, you know.
Yeah, this one's definitely a little bit slower. The next one, episode 7, you remember Quintus from season 1? So we get to see him again.
Oh.
And then episode 8 is kind of the grand finale, and there's a lot of really cool stuff in that one as well. Okay. So yeah, next time we meet, we'll just do 2 episodes, and we'll finish out the rest of this season.
Oh, man.
And then after that, well, we may do 2 episodes, and then maybe we could do the Christmas special, which I think you've seen already, right?
Christmas special?
You have, but you guys haven't. Okay. There's a Christmas special that came out this last Christmas, and it has to do with these characters, but also some other characters. It's kind of it's the same story, but different. You'll see. It's kind of different time.
Okay.
So it kind of goes forward and then backward in time. So it's a little bit, it's kind of interesting to see. Okay. So yeah, anyway, that's the end of today's episode of My Friends Watch The Chosen. Again, as always, if you guys like stuff like this, if you like to see their reactions and their explanations and their thoughts about the episodes, please subscribe, like, it really helps out the channel. And if you want to support us beyond that, make sure that you go to our Patreon, patreon.com/thisnightlife, or you can hit that thanks button below and maybe buy us a coffee with $2, or you know, give us a little donation. You don't have to do that. There's no expectation for sure. But you can if you'd like to. So, anyway, thanks so much for watching The Chosen with us. Just a couple more episodes left. And that's it.
Wow.
Thanks for being part of our community. Peace.
Peace.
I don't know what camera to look at.
Whoa. Whoa.